I think there is a fair bit of ambiguity perhaps around blended and flexible learning approaches, and while that can be problematic, it can also be quite advantageous. So it really opens up a whole lot of opportunities.
It also opens up the prospect for us not to just think about teaching being something that actually happens inside a classroom at a specific place, a specific location at a specific time, and starts us thinking about how we might actually deliver authentic learning experiences for students in a variety of locations.
It gives them the flexibility, and this is the wanting, flexibility of time and space and how they use the material. And that's something we have to keep in mind all the time with the spaces that we use.
What we tried to do was develop graphics or icons for each subject to give them some kind of personality. And we use those sorts of graphics to brand the subject within the online learning environment, and we use those same graphics out in using with the Web2 tools that we were using, and using those same kind of icons, whether it was in Facebook or whether it was in Second Life, whether it was on Flickr. It meant that when the students are out there functioning within those other social networks, they feel connected to the spaces that we're using, because they've got that same kind of visual that's connecting the two environments.
Blended and flexible learning now is absolutely critical in all of my teaching. I teach a combination of subjects to on-campus and distance education students, and I must admit, when I started my project, I had the intention of really enhancing my subjects for distance education students. That was my real focus. One of the side benefits, I guess, was that it really enhanced the learning outcomes for on-campus or internal students as well.
Having experienced both sides of that equation as a student, being the victim of very teacher-centred didactic approaches, but also being the beneficiary of very student-centred and very active approaches as well, it's very hard to walk away unchanged, and it's very hard to then go back and really start to look at some of the more traditional approaches.
I think blended and flexible learning will bridge a gap between the level of contact we used to have with our students and the level of contact we're trying to get to in the future, and really bring those students in the material.
But for us, the blending really comes in with looking at a lot of other online Web2 tools that really do actually provide probably greater affordance in terms of building community, or providing students with learning experiences that with technologies that will actually be technologies that they can actually take into the workplace with them.
I think it creates a lot of opportunities because of the nature of the subjects, the work that we deliver here, and the nature of the vocation that the students go to. So they go into a lot of different areas of policing as far as what they do on a daily basis. So to blend in, to use any sort of technology or subject material and the like is excellent for that reason.
Well, the ability of blended and flexible learning to create learning teaching opportunities is really about really breaking down the necessity to have people face to face. And even though there's a lot of strengths in that, we don't have the ability so much anymore to actually sit with people and work that way. The way that technology is going now, and the benefits of that are that we have so many tools to meet, not necessarily face to face, but virtually. Next stage in that, I think, is to get away from the idea that it's technology. Technology is the tool, but it's not the aim of it, and the more invisible that becomes, I think it will strengthen that.
I think certainly within the distance education mode within which I'm working, blended learning is kind of being reshaped. It's being redeveloped. It's sort of being revised as new and emerging technologies are being, as we explore new and emerging technologies.